be able to say, here is the definitive list of created kinds, so that anybody can go to it and look at the created kind list and know, okay, this species belongs to this created kind, and it had this kind of a history, it survived the flood outside the ark, or survived aboard the ark, or whatever, and understand sort of the history of that kind. I think another really important question is, how do species come about? Why did the kinds split up into these species? What are these species? And we know, essentially from several centuries worth of research by creationists and evolutionists alike, that species are quite inconstant. They come and they go. They're not the kind of things that we thought they were in the say, the 18th century. We now know that they blur together quite often, they merge, and sometimes they even appear and disappear within human history. It's really strange. Why does that happen? Where are they going? Where are they coming from? How is it that they're able to come about so fast? Why is it that very soon after the flood, Abraham is owning cattle and donkeys and camels? Those are modern species, modern domesticated species, and yet he's got them within 400 years of the flood. That's an amazing rate of production of species. And my suspicion is that there's an initial burst and a burst of speciation, a burst of new species, and then it sort of dies off after that. And we need to understand how that is, because I guarantee you the Darwinian version of evolution isn't going to work. There's no way that this is random variation, and there's no way that this is just sort of natural selection. That is completely off the table. It cannot explain what's going on. And I tend to think it's the opposite. I tend to think it's backwards. I think that it's adaptive, directed, God-intended, designed variation, and then sort of a random selection about precisely which variations get to survive in which kind of environments that there are. So there are lots of questions. There's plenty of room for lots of eager young biologists out there looking to make an impact in creationism. There's a whole world waiting for you, and I hope you'll join us. How can people come and get involved? So there's a variety of ways that people can get involved. So let's speak just right now to young students who are thinking about careers. What am I going to do after high school? There are programs out there already, plenty of Christian colleges with active research programs. Liberty University, Master's College, and Bryan College. Bryan College has a special program of origin studies. So you can come and study creationism and do actual research with us. Or you can do it at those other schools as well. Cedarville University also, I should mention. So there are ways of getting involved. What kind of background do you need? You need an interest in critters, an interest in living things. That's what you need, a passion and a talent for details. Detail people are very important in this area because there's a lot of detail that science kinds of people have to keep track of. Now, if you're interested but not that interested, I would suggest that you come to the BSG meeting. BSG meetings are pretty accessible. We're always talking about the latest new findings in baraminology. We often talk about the application, things like, where do thorns come from? Are thorns new creations at the fall, or were they modified plants that were benign before the fall? We talk about, where do predators come from? We talk about, where do diseases come from? We talk about, where do poisons and toxins come from? So it's not just an issue of, is the possum a unique created kind, or is it part of another created kind? It's not boring like that. We're definitely orienting our research program towards answering really interesting and really cool questions. And if you have any interest in this kind of stuff, BSG is the place to be. And you can find us on the web, www.creationbiology.org.